You know I love finding deep value, but my newest investment from Turkey isn't another Pabrai clone. This is actually different. The company is Torunlar GYO. Their market cap is 73 billion Turkish liras as of this recording, and sitting on their balance sheet is 26.5 billion liras in net cash. That is over a third of the entire company's value just in cash. But it gets even better. Their portfolio is appraised at 146.5 billion liras, including the cash. Take out the cash from the portfolio as well as the market cap, and you are paying 46.5 billion liras in enterprise value or 120 billion liras worth of prime real estate. That is a 60% discount. But here is the part that made my jaw drop. According to their own projections, they expect to have over 61 billion liras in net cash by the end of 2026, which is less than 13 months from now. The market is valuing the entire company at 73 billion today. In just 13 months, the cash alone could be worth nearly the entire company. So that's it. Video is over. Obviously not. How is this possible? And is it real? Let me show you the three-part thesis behind this cash monster. But first, what do they do? Torunlar has a hybrid model. On one side, a massive recurring rental portfolio, malls and offices that spit out cash every month. On the other side, luxury residential development. They build apartments and sell them for massive lump sum cash injections. My favorite is obviously the rental income side, which represents a bigger portion of the business. Right now, they have about 8 billion liras in finished inventory. That is real estate ready to sell. This is not a speculative land. It is cash waiting to happen. The rental side provides stability, 74% of their revenue. The development side is the cash turbo boost. And here is the key. They have already done the hard work. Back in 2021, they had heavy debt. Management hated owing banks in a high inflation world. So they executed a total transformation. They sold assets, they leveraged aggressively, and flipped the script. They are now a self-funding cash machine. This is not a hopeful future state. It literally happened. Okay, but cash in Turkey can melt down from inflation. What protects this investment? Well, first of all, the interest rates are currently above inflation, so the cash is bringing real returns. And secondly, the physical assets. Concrete and land doesn't really care about the inflation. And these aren't just any buildings as well. Their crown jewel is the Mall of Istanbul. It is a city within a city. Retail, offices, a hotel, residences, and an amusement park. In just 9 months of 2025, it had 43.8 million visitors. That is half of Turkey's population. And here is the ultimate moat. You cannot build this today. Construction costs are nearly 20 times what they were when this was built, in lira terms. Financing is also astronomically expensive. The era of building mega malls is over. But more importantly, the land is almost impossible to find to build a similar mega project in Istanbul. So you are not buying a stock ticker. You are buying existing cash-flowing concrete at a 2014 price tag in a 2025 world. That is your built-in inflation hedge. So now let's go back to the valuation. But let's make it painfully simple. I call this the free most thesis. Step 1. The market cap, which is 75 billion liras. Step 2, subtracting the net cash, which is 26.5 billion liras. And step 3, subtracting the sale inventory, which are the assets that is ready to sell. I call this the near cash, which is 8.2 billion liras. What you are left with is an implied price value of just 40.3 billion liras for the entire rent-producing real estate empire. The Mall of Istanbul alone is appraised at 36 billion liras. For your 40 billion liras, you are getting that mall, plus all else. Well, all else is essentially for free. And these appraisals are not just fantasy. In 2024, they sold Torun Tower in a block sale for cash. The sale price was within 7% of the appraisal value. The market has already validated their numbers. So you might think, if it is so cheap, why is not everyone buying? Look at who is buying. The chairman, Aziz Torun, has been buying shares on the open market throughout 2025. Not options, not grants, open market purchases. When the person who knows the exact value of every tile, every tenant lease, and every bank account is betting millions on the stock price today, that is the single strongest signal you can get. So, is this a perfect, risk-free 10-bagger stock? Well, no, absolutely not. There are risks involved, just like any other ticker. What about the Istanbul earthquake risks? How do their modern buildings compared to the old stock? What about tenant concentration, where a few brick brands dominate? What about the management of the malls and its costs? How does that go? I have just published a 42-page deep dive report on my Patreon where I tear all of this apart. I break down the full bear case and these exact risks, a detailed assets by asset sum of the parts valuation, and the number one most important point, why my portfolio is still 85% invested in RYSAS and only 1.7% in Torunlar GYO. There is a strategic reason why I think one is better, compounder, and the other is a remarkable discount. And the reason is, based on my analysis, RYSAS is just getting a much higher return on their investment investments compared to Torunlar GYO. If you want that full comparison, all of my previous research, the link is in the description. But even as a small position, the margin of safety here is extraordinary. You are getting a cash fortress, uncopyable assets, and a chairman betting alongside you, all at a price that assumes nothing good will ever happen. So while it's not yet an inside the wagons position for me, at the worst case, it is one hell of a cigar butt position. Therefore, I have added the company on my portfolio with less than 2% allocation at the moment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.